What is up, everybody? Welcome to episode 29 of the Baystate Sports Podcast. My name is Pat. This is Brendan. Let's get into it. How are you, buddy?
Dude, we're back. Episode 29 of the Baystate Sports Podcast. The pod has just kind of exploded on the scenes right now.
Yep.
Like, we're still just two guys talking sports with the teams we love, but it's kind of crazy, like, just the reach we've had lately. It's freaking wild. We're in the middle of Baystate Appreciation Week.
Yep.
Just like thanking all of our sponsors and the people that have been with us since the beginning here. And if we don't get to you this week, we'll have future weeks, future seasons. But right now I just want to give a thank you to all those people that have been with us from the jump here. Baystate Takeover is legit.
Yep.
We're still rolling here. We're going to talk Boston Red Sox right now, some MLB baseball. Right now, right behind you cameras, there is an important game right now, Red Sox-Rockies. The winner of this game wins the series between the Red Sox and the Rockies, and the Sox can't afford to lose it.
Nope, not at all. And it's crazy where we're sitting in the season right now. I mean, right now in the wild card standings, we are what?
I think you're a game behind Kansas City.
One game out of the wild card, which if you asked me if we were going to be one game out of the wild card in the beginning of this season, I would have laughed. I actually think earlier on one of our earlier podcasts, we said there's no way we're shot. We suck. It's all over. But here we are, one game out of the wild card series. The Yankees are tanking. They're falling on their face again, which seems to be a trend for the Yankees, which I'm all for. Kind of stoked on the Red Sox right now.
Bro, since the turn of May 11th, they've been the hottest team in baseball. They're freaking entertaining as hell right now. They play better defense, a lot better defense than last year. They figured out shortstop with Rafaela, the kid I got on right now. And then the bats are freaking flying. Devers is playing like an MVP.
Again, which is great to see, because in the beginning of the season, at the end of last season, he was just meh.
Yeah.
And now he's back to being that all-star caliber player, that leader of the team, if you listen to our last episode, not quite the leader we are expecting.
He's not Ortiz.
He's not Ortiz, but he's still leading the team in terms of playing the right game, playing a great game, and doing well. So, hey, I'll take that for now.
Dude, yeah, he is the pulse of the clubhouse right now. He's dominating every at-bat. They're very competitive, and I think that's why you're seeing just an insane stats. Jaron Duran, first pitch, almost hit a home run.
Almost hit a home run. I was going to say, speaking of guy who won All-Star MVP, that guy, Jaron Duran, he has been a good leader of this team as well.
A locomotive.
Yes.
The team runs on Jaron Duran.
Yes.
He is he's hitting the ball at over 300 right now in the last 7 games. He's making huge plays in center field, and he leads the league in triples and doubles. He's right behind De La Cruz for steals.
Yep.
Now, the kid is crazy. He's so good. And the combination of Hamilton, who I ragged on a lot when they pulled him up because he wasn't ready, Rafaela batting in the 9-hole, and Duran, those three together, they bring an element of speed that no other MLB team has.
Yeah.
And there's no way to really deal with that speed. They're just extending singles into doubles into triples. They're stealing. It's a dirty, scrappy team, and they do a great job with it. It's been a
lot of fun to watch too. This team has been a blast to watch throughout the first however many games of the season. They've just been a fun team. I mean, I don't think either one of us expected them to be a fun team to watch, especially with how the first half of the season went. But like you said, since May 11th?
Yeah.
Since May 11th, they've been an entertaining team to watch, and they've been something that has turned into, I'm not watching the Red Sox because they stink, to now you're oh, I kind of want to watch this team. Are we going to lose? Maybe, probably, I don't know. Do I still think we're going to win the World Series? No. Is there a chance now? I'd say yeah. From where we've came from the beginning of the season, Red Sox have a chance.
Oh,
and they're getting hot at the right time. We'll see how they are after All-Star break. Jarren Duran should stay hot. I see no reason why he shouldn't. All the surrounding cast should stay hot. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm cautiously optimistic about this team now. I'm excited to watch. It's fun to watch them play.
Yeah, and like the whole goal for us was meaningful baseball in September.
Mm-hmm.
Baseball that each game mattered when it came to September. We saw it last year. There was no move at the deadline, and the team dropped off a cliff.
Mm-hmm.
They were like middling in August, and then they totally fell off in September. Because they weren't in the race anymore, and there was no point. It was just play the young kids.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that. I want to see games in September that mean win or lose, whatever happens, we have a chance to make the playoffs. We can't make the playoffs. It comes down to it, right down to the wire there in September. That's what I want to see from this team, and they're really showing you this year that they're in the race. They had a wild card spot locked in. The second wild card spot, they were guaranteed a playoff spot before the All-Star break.
Mm-hmm.
You come out of the All-Star break, and you drop 4 in a row, and you really open the box. Fall out of the wild card, your game out of it right now. That's why this game today is huge.
Yeah, very important.
Like, if you lose this game, you drop 5 of 6 on the West Coast trip, especially 2 to the worst team in baseball in the Colorado Rockies. You convince the front office to not buy at the deadline. It's a seller's market. It's going to be big prices to pay to upgrade your team. And the Red Sox have to be willing to give up something to get something. And if you're not willing, if you're showing the front office that you're not ready yet to make a run, they are more than happy to trade Kenley Jansen, bring in prospects, bring in a boatload of prospects, trade Tyler Bombs, bring in a boatload of prospects. They're more than willing to do that. And I know they haven't made a decision. I know they haven't. They keep telling the media, we need to pick a lane. It's time to pick a lane. They're throwing a lot of shots at Bloom. They're like firing at Bloom.
Yeah.
But they haven't picked a lane yet, and I know that because Kenley Jansen's not in this Rocky series. Every time he goes to Colorado, he gets an irregular heart rhythm, and he has to have shock therapy.
Which is so crazy.
To recover from it, something from the altitude.
Yeah.
So they knew he wasn't going to be in this series.
Yep.
They also knew 2 weeks ago that Justin Slayton was going to be hurt. I mean, he was hurt 2 weeks ago. They knew he wasn't going to be in this series. Chris Martin was hurt 3 weeks ago. They knew he wasn't going to be ready for this series. Chris Martin might not come back the rest of the year.
Oh, really?
They needed a bullpen arm, a high leverage guy, someone to help Zach Kelly, someone to help Greg Weissert, and they didn't make a move going into Colorado, and that's how you give up the first game is you ran out of arms in the bullpen. You're playing with one guy short, and it's because they weren't willing to go one direction or the other when these games mean a lot right now, especially in Colorado.
Yeah. I mean, and not only this game, but there's also a lot of other games coming up. We have the Yankees coming up. We have a couple other playoff teams coming up. The Astros, Mariners,
Royals.
All these teams. And actually, the Royals are the team above us in the wild card spot.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a huge series. That's going to be a massive series.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully we can make some separation before then, but still, like, that's going to be a big series to watch. So, I mean, it's might be a blessing in disguise that some of these guys can't be playing during this series. Not saying this series isn't as important as it is, because obviously it is.
Yeah.
But I think that the big thing, the blessing in disguise might be that, at least these guys are getting some rest. They'll be ready for those big series coming up. On the other hand, talking about the trade deadline, is there anyone specific you're looking at that would be a good upgrade to this team?
Yeah, dude. I mean, we are 5 days out of the trade deadline. It's coming down to it. We've seen what happens when they ignore the deadline and abandon the team. They implode.
Yeah.
So there's real urgency for these different targets. It's a right-handed bat. You don't have any. You have Connor Wong.
Yep.
You have Rob Refsnyder and Tyler Bombs. Tyler's really the only threat that you have right-handed. Wong's pretty good.
Yeah, he's a good batter,
streaky.
but he's not. Yeah, he's still a catcher at the same time.
Yeah, he's streaky. And then half the games Reese is playing. Reese is not a righty.
Yeah.
And then who else did I say?
Connor Wong.
Connor Wong. Oh, Rob Refsnyder,
that's
lefty assassin. So he's like a real bat to face lefties, but that's really his specialty. You need like a first baseman, DH, that will platoon with Dom Smith, platoon with Yoshida when you're facing a left-handed pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
They can't hit left-handed pitching. There's like one guy that can hit it, it's Refsnyder. No one else is nearly capable.
Yeah.
So you need someone to address the left-handed pitching. I'm looking at Yandy Diaz in Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
You might give up like a Nick York prospect from Worcester. Miguel Blaze is another one. Blaze Jordan, these guys. You have a bulk of middle infielders in Worcester, in Portland, in A-ball. Ship them out. There's only 9 spots on the team.
Yeah, you can't keep all these guys.
You can't just hoard all these guys in Worcester and just win the Worcester World Series every year. That doesn't matter. You know, so...
I'm fired up in the Worcester World Series. That's my World Series. No, I'm kidding.
There's Yandy Diaz in Tampa, who I have my eyes on as like, this would actually be like a proven guy that you could get for a good price. Tampa would do it. Tampa loves prospects. They're obsessed with prospects.
Yep. Hey.
They would do it. And then there's a couple flyers that I would take. So the Toronto has Justin Turner. You had him before. Look, he's older. He's having a pretty bad year. It doesn't take much. You honestly might just split the money with Toronto, and that's all.
Yeah.
You could just get him. He's right-handed bat. Put him at DH. Put him
he
at
liked
first.
it here too, and he played pretty well here.
And he brings the intangibles for the clubhouse. You know, like he was a good player for them. And then Ty France from Seattle. I think he might get DFA'd. He was an all-star 2 years ago. He's having a really bad year right now. But those are 2 right-handed bats where you're not giving up like anything to get them.
Yeah.
And you could catch like some fire, some electricity with those guys.
Yeah.
And especially you just like show the clubhouse like, look, we're addressing the needs we have.
Yeah.
We need a right-handed bat.
And it's not just going out and getting guys that are cheap. That's not the point of that. Like, don't go out and get another left-handed bat who's going to get DFA'd anyway.
Yeah.
You got to go out and you got to get someone who makes sense. Because we saw it last year. I think they got, like, a couple guys last year, but none of them made
oh my God.
sense.
Luis Urias. Like, what was that? You know,
just like a random, like, oh, we need to go get someone. That guy's cheap. Get him.
He's like Oakland A's, like, farm team. Same thing with Pablo Reyes. Like, look, I love Pablo Reyes, but that's just as a Sox fan. But, like, Pablo Reyes wasn't going to, like, move the needle. No. You know what I mean?
No.
Like, you were taking flyers, as I said, but on, like, minor league guys.
Yeah, guys that don't make sense.
Instead of, like, guys that are proven MLB players.
Yeah.
You know, like Turner, he was huge in LA. He was huge here. Ty France was an all-star. Yandy Diaz is a great player down in Tampa. Like, those are, like, a couple bats that I think would be really good.
Yandy Diaz has been good for, like, a while, too.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
He's good. He's consistently good.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a good thing to get for a guy on this team. A guy that's just consistent and a right-hander. Like, that would be 2 guys, like you said, that would make a lot of sense for this team.
And you're platooning in first base and DH because you don't know when Cassis is coming back.
No.
I'm telling you, like, Cassis, I love that kid. I want him back so bad. He, like, wants to play very badly to the point where he put a date on it when he was coming back. He was wrong.
Yeah.
He might not be back the whole year.
Yeah.
There's a shot he comes back in September, only if they're in it. I'm telling you, if he's not... If the team isn't in it, they're not putting him on the field.
No. And why risk it? You know what I mean? He's a huge, young talent. And you know he's the type of guy that's in the gym, doing everything he needs to do to get back there. So he's going to be healthy enough to get there. But at the same time, you don't want to Rob Williams him, bring him back too early, and then he's never the same.
Yeah, exactly. He's a huge part of your future. And what you do. Him and Devers together are 2 monsters.
Is Cassis a lefty?
Cass is another lefty. Yep.
Yeah, of
So
course.
that's why I want to get like a superstar right-handed bat in between those two.
Mm-hmm.
That's like that changes your team. You're like World Series favorites. You get Vlad Guerrero, you get someone like that. You put him in between those two.
Yeah.
You get it's Duran, Devers, Guerrero, Cassis. Oh my God.
So
dude.
if you could have any guy, obviously in reason, because you can't just be like, yeah, Aaron Judge, even though I don't know if I'd pick Aaron Judge anyway, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Or Otani. Like, if you can get any guy within reason, would it be Guerrero or would it be someone else?
Guerrero's on the list, but the target is Crochet. Garrett Crochet out of Chicago. Look, this kid is a left-handed pitcher. You don't have a single left-handed pitcher.
Oh, so you're going pitching.
Yes,
Interesting.
Crochet is like 25 years old. He is a stud. He is like a 3.13 ERA with like 2 losses on the year.
Wow.
And he's a left-handed pitcher. He's like front of the rotation guy. So he'd be your ace.
Yeah.
You just put in an ace, a young controllable arm with 3 years of contract term. And he's in the core. You extend him. You have him for the rest of his career. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that would be like a huge price. Like you'd have to move Marcelo Meyer to do it. And some people would argue, like, look, if Rafaela is a Gold Glove shortstop right now, and you like Roman Anthony in the outfield instead, and you like Duran in the outfield and Abreu in the outfield, O'Neal platooning with Abreu, then it makes a lot of sense to take from an area of abundance, which is like these middle infielders between Hamilton, Grissom, Story, Mayer, Valdez. There's like 6 guys there. You only have 2 spots. Take from an area of abundance and address an area of need. You need a starter. You didn't get a starter in the off season. There was Yamamoto, there was Imanaga, there was Snell,
How has Yamamoto been?
Montgomery.
I haven't been
He's
keeping up with
figured it
him.
out.
Yeah, he's apparently, because I remember in the beginning of the season he was awful.
Yeah, he sucked in the beginning.
But he's figuring it out.
I think he had to like adjust the game.
Which is fair.
But he's he's a freaking beast.
Yeah.
Imanaga is actually better, and he was
Really?
a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
And he's for the Cubs, and they were in on him, and they didn't do it, but it was easy. It was not going to take much to get him. And those would be like 2 aces that you could get. But basically, look, you have no pitching in the system.
No.
There's no pitching in the system. Everyone in the minor leagues for pitching sucks for the Red Sox. They all suck.
Yeah.
So it's like the guys you have up there right now between Bayo, who's struggling to survive, Houck, freaking beast, he figured it out.
Yeah, Houck's been great.
Crawford has the highest ceiling of all of them. Crawford's a freaking maniac.
Good old cutter.
But when he's bad, it's terrible.
Yeah.
And then Pivetta, he's good as gone in a couple years.
You think so?
And then Whitlock can't stay healthy. Whitlock needs to be in the pen.
Yeah.
He's not going to survive as a starter. You needed to get pitching in the offseason. It wasn't about getting pitching to win the World Series. It was about getting pitching because you need it. You don't have it. You have all like positional prospects.
Yeah.
You didn't address it in the offseason. You have to address it at the trade deadline. There's just getting to a point here where you need to address it. You need to get pitching. It's like the Patriots with left tackle.
Yeah.
You need to get this. It's going to
come and do something.
And if you want one of the premium guys, it's Skubal in Detroit and it's Crochet in Chicago.
Yeah.
It's going to take one of the big 3. Everyone has their like pick of the big 3 that like is their untouchable guy.
Yeah.
I go Kyle Teal. He's the catcher. He got out of A-ball in a week. He got he got on the Portland team in a month.
Yeah.
Like he went from low A to high A in a week, and then he got to Portland in a month. And they're hiding them in Portland because they don't want anyone to get film on them.
Oh, really?
That's why they're not in Worcester. They also want the Worcester guys to like enjoy the year or whatever.
Yeah.
But those 3 are good enough to be on the big league team.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. But Teal is my guy that I'm like, he's untouchable. He's like the franchise catcher.
Yeah.
And then Roman Anthony's the other one that
I get that jersey. That's a sick jersey.
He's going to be...
A jersey with teal on the back? That's sick.
Yeah, he's going to be a monster. Yeah. Same with Anthony. Anthony's going to be like Aaron Judge. I think.
Really?
He's going to be like...
That's a big comparison.
Dude, he's a freaking monster out there. He won the skills showcase.
Oh, really?
For the Futures game.
That's cool.
And I mean, Mayer's like, he's the kid that had he was the highest pick. He was 4th overall.
Yeah.
And I understand when they say we're not going to move him, and I get it. Like, look, franchise shortstop.
Yeah.
That's a very important position. But I look at a guy like Rafaela, and I'm like, he can play it.
Yeah, Rafaela's been great recently.
He's a Gold Glove shortstop.
Yeah.
They didn't draft him to be a shortstop, but he's a Gold Glove shortstop. My team is freaking blowing it right now.
Yeah, they're not doing great.
But
oh boy.
But anyways, yeah, you gotta address an area of need. So the 3 needs are right-handed bat, starting pitcher, and a reliever.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be a high leverage guy, but just like find some guy. Doesn't take much. Just help out that pen. They need help. Some like names are actually attainable that they're not gonna cost big prices just for the year. Evaldi, bring him back.
Yep.
He was really good. Texas is falling off a cliff. They'll be willing to move
Which is kind of surprising. After winning a World Series, they're
hangover or something.
Yeah.
Also, they can't afford their team. They're having economic struggles.
Oh, really?
In Texas.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
So
strike more oil.
there's Evaldi, and then there's Jack Flaherty, another guy that could be a starter for you, back end guy, put behind Bayo.
Yeah.
And that'll help your arms. You can move someone else to the pen. But yeah, I think those are the needs for the Sox, and this is why this game is really important. If you lose today, that means you drop 5 of 6 on this trip.
Yeah, it's not looking good.
And
we're already down 3-0.
That means you're
bottom of the first.
You're telling the front office that that you're not
serious.
You just had a hot month.
Yeah.
So my question is, with Pivetta, what is his value in the league right now? I mean, this game is not saying he has any.
Yeah.
But what is his value in the league right now? Do you think you can move him to get someone?
I like the idea of going player for player instead of player for prospects.
Yeah.
But the way the trade deadline goes, it's if you're in the playoff race, that means you're buying. That means you're holding on to your big league guys, and you're trading your minor league guys to get another big league player. And it's it's a seller's market because there's a lot of teams that are in it, and it's an expanded playoffs these days. There's a couple extra wild card spots. So there's an argument where he's actually traded with O'Neill and Jansen, and you just get 5 minor league players that could turn into something, could not. And that's something that the front office is thinking about, Breslow, Kennedy. Look, we could shop Pivetta, and we could get 4 minor league pitchers, and maybe one of them is a starter.
Yeah.
Same thing with Jansen, same thing with O'Neill. And I mean, look, I understand thinking big picture, but it's been big picture for 5, actually it's been 7 years where it's just been we're thinking big picture. And I'm more we have a season right now. This is a year where they're in it, they're competing. And we might as well just try to do the best we can, right?
Yeah, at this point.
Just try to make the playoffs. I'm not asking for more than that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you want to move into the tier list or?
Yeah, let's do tiers. All right, quick break, but we are back and we are going to get into our tier list. This is for the AL and the couple sections we're doing. We're doing contenders. Who are the contenders for the World Series? Who's going to be the World Series champions? Maybe. Who's going to be in the playoffs? So maybe World Series, probably not, but will make the playoffs. Who's going to be in the wild card race? Who's going to be chasing that chance to get into the playoffs and hopefully make that miracle run? And then the pretenders are the guys that look like they might be there, but probably aren't kind of thing. And then there's the that speaks for itself.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're going to start with the teams.
Yeah, we're going bottom up this time.
Yep.
Yep.
Which makes sense for starting with the Oakland, White Sox, Toronto.
Definite. And also, like, there's an argument for Toronto as, like, the like, as pretenders, because they were supposed to be World Series contenders for the last 4 years. This was supposed to be their year.
Every year is their year, and then they bring back the same team. They're gonna be like, we're gonna be good this year, and they're here.
And that's why I have to say, like, this year Toronto doesn't get that. Like, they're not even good this time around.
No,
last year they were actually decently good in the regular season. This year they're just not even good at all.
Mm-hmm.
I think Toronto belongs down there.
Yep.
And I can't wait to hear, like, all the comments and stuff. But Toronto belongs down in
Yep.
I also like the idea of the Angels.
Angels? Yep. I think we can put them in.
I think Angels belong down.
They're right above. Oh, we forgot. Oh no, we got Oakland. Okay. Oakland's just so. They should have like a separate tier, but
yeah, honestly, there's an argument
should
to
we
make
just put
an Oakland.
Yeah, we're gonna make an
Oakland
Oakland category.
So
yeah, okay.
there's like, and then there's Oakland.
And then there's Oakland, which is below.
And I mean, if you really want to look at the food chain, it's like, it's ants, it's like dirt.
Yeah.
And then it's Oakland.
And then it's Oakland. And there's a whole bunch of categories below, but Oakland is way down there.
Oakland's that one MLB tier that's.
So we're gonna add the Angels.
Yeah, I like the Angels. Detroit. I think Detroit's probably.
They started hot.
Yeah, they have. I think they're stripping it down at the deadline, though.
Yeah.
What's their record?
The 50 and 52. So they're just below 500.
They're like, are they the Toronto record too? 50 and 42.
Toronto? Where's Toronto? 45 and 50.
Oh, dude, Toronto's.
Toronto is sitting pretty in the.
Yes, they're the face.
Yeah, no, Oakland is the face. Actually,
The
LA,
face of Oakland.
LA is, good point. Yeah. Oakland is the face of the Oakland category. Good point. The Angels are 44 and 57, and yeah.
Dude, the Angels suck. Like, they had Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, they should. I don't know.
They had Mike Trout together. They couldn't figure it out. And they let Ohtani walk for nothing.
Yeah.
Because they're, like, afraid of, like, the Bambino curse.
Love a double play.
It was a different thing, though, with the Red Sox back in the day, because it was, like, Bambino wanted to be here.
Yeah.
This is, like, Ohtani wants to leave. So, don't be...
Category?
Yeah, don't be an idiot. Just freaking...
Can we get Mike Trout?
I love Mike Trout. But don't worry, you have Roman Anthony.
Good point. Same guy.
And Jared Duran, you're fine.
Yeah.
You have 2 Mike Trouts on your team. Anyways, any more takers for... Like, did we put Detroit in there? Or
are we putting Detroit
I don't think
in there?
Detroit's pretenders. Right, pretenders is one above. I don't even think they're in pretenders right now.
Yeah, we actually have a piece of paper now. That's why I went on break. So we got a piece of paper.
Yeah, we got a piece of paper.
Let's throw Detroit in.
What do you think about Tampa? Do you think Tampa belongs in pretender?
What's their record?
They're 51 and 50.
Who's?
That's like Detroit's record.
Is anyone in the?
Tampa's Tampa.
See, but like if they were in the West, they would be right behind Houston. Who's 52?
The whole
49.
West is pretenders.
Yeah, the entire West is pretenders except for the category. If you're in like
or the Oakland category.
Good point.
No, the West sucks.
Do we put Texas in too?
Ooh, I don't know if
They're
deserve. I know. Maybe they do deserve.
Like
I didn't expect to say this much in this.
We never say a lot.
I don't want to send this one to my parents.
I'm not mad about it.
No, I'm not mad about it.
But yeah, sorry, Mom and Dad. This is apparently a heavy podcast.
We're talking a lot.
right now.
Yeah, we didn't think this through.
No, I think Texas